Hey, I'm Chase, and this is All Things Run. Today we're looking at the 1 liter reserve scuba dive tank. Now, before I hop into video, go ahead and check out this video, which is where I review the 0.5 liter dive tank, the dive tank that's half the size, or the reserve tank that's half the size. I give you all the pros and cons and all the safety issues that come with using these tanks. So first of all, I'm going to tell you, don't use this unless you're a certified PADI diver or you have another certification. But other than that, please don't use these if you're not certified. That being said, I don't really care what you do. You're an adult. You can do what you want. Let's hop into the review and let's unbox this, and I'll show you exactly what you get in the kit that I ordered. Okay, so here is the 1 liter DEDEPU. I don't even know how to pronounce this. You could either buy, I guess this is an off-brand of the SMACO. It was a little cheaper. I think this is basically the equivalent of the SMACO S400 1 liter, except it's like half the price. Now, again, it says it is a diver's reserve parachute. However, here's what I mean by they're trying to sell this to non-divers. Fall in love with snorkeling. That has nothing to do with diving itself. Snorkeling is something completely different. It's recreational to people who are not certified. Again, I don't care who buys this. I bought this not as a certified diver. I bought this because I wanted to buy it as a non-certified diver. And that's how I'm going to review it, as a non-certified diver. Explore the endless ocean. This specifically is for a non-diver. Let's open it up and see what's inside. Now, already it has a carrying case right here that you'll see in the pool that allows you to harness this either over your back or across your chest. Now, I'd recommend across your chest because you can look down at the gauge on the top of the tank and see what your pressure is. Let's actually look at the equipment, the regulator, and the gauges. Now, this came with a mask already. Now, this mask isn't too terrible. In fact, this mask, if you've ever heard of the U.S. divers snorkeling set where they have normally a mask, a snorkel, and some fins, this is basically better than that, but not as good as a professional diving mask. I would say 1 out of 10. This is probably a 6. I already have 3 masks, so it's cool that it came with one. It's always nice to have an extra one because my buddy and I went diving once and the side of his mask broke and we had to go to Walmart and get another mask for him. So it's always good to have extra masks just in case. Comes with a bunch of O-rings. This is the 1 liter DEDEPU tank. It is an aluminum tank. It's nice to see that it actually is capped on the top. That really doesn't mean anything. I mean, it just keeps the dust out. But it is an aluminum tank. This is going to have the same issue as the 0.5 liter because an aluminum tank with steel threading on this valve is going to end up wearing it down. However, not really a big deal. It's just something to consider. Now, it does have an external regulator. Unlike the 0.5 liter SMACO that I got, has a regulator attached to the top of the tank. This is external. This is what I'm talking about by having it across your chest. Once this is attached to the tank itself, you want to be able to look down to look at your pressure here so you know how much time is left. Now, unlike the SMACO 0.5 that gives you about 4 minutes of breathing time, this is double the air. So you're going to have, I would say probably around 8 minutes of breathing time or more, depending on how much you breathe. Now, the 0.5 liter, I said, gives you anywhere from 4 to 6 minutes, depending on how nervous you are, how much energy you're expending. It all depends on your comfort level in the water, because people who are very comfortable in the water tend to have more of a steady, shallow breath as opposed to deep, quick breaths, which causes you to burn through your air a lot faster. So we're gonna dive more deep into this once we get in the pool. Yes, pun intended. The regulator is not too bad. Now, this comes straight from China, because if you look right here, it has Chinese on it. Not really a big deal for me. I mean, China has 1.5 billion people. So, I'm sure some of them are scuba divers. I'm not really worried about the equipment quality. Now, the issue that I had with the other regulator was the fact that when you hit the purge valve at the top of the 0.5 liter, it tended to leak air into the mouthpiece. Not really sure how this is going to be, but again, we're going to test it out. This is very similar to a regulator that you would get on your scuba gear. However, far lighter. You can tell this is made of plastic. A lot of it's made of plastic with some metal pieces. Clearly, this is not meant to go deep in the water. Again, stay 25 feet or above. Again, stay 25 feet or above. This feels pretty light, a little cheap. Not really sure how it relates to the SMACO S400, but all in all, you're only going to know once you start breathing in from the water. Now inside here, I ordered the 0.5 liter tank. I chose not to get this, which is an adapter for an actual scuba tank that you can fill either the SMACO 0.5 liter or this 1 liter tank directly from air from a scuba tank. Now, I chose not to buy it on the other one because the difference in price was about $60. However, because I knew it came with this, I waited. Here it is. We're going to test that out as well to see how easy it is to use. Now, because I know some people are not certified and they're going to end up going, because I know some people are not certified and they're not going to go to a dive shop and they're going to buy these with the hand pumps, we're going to see just how many pumps it takes to fill this up. Now, it was about 400 pumps to fill up the 0.5 liter. We'll see how much it is to fill up this 1 liter and how long it takes. Let's get ready for a workout. So twice the volume and 3 times the work. It took over 1,100 pumps to fill this thing up. Now, how it's worn. Earlier in the review, I showed you that it came with this sort of harness that straps around either your chest or your back. I find it extremely comfortable and better to be along the front so you could see the gauge itself. Now, this rig is extremely easy to use. Any certified scuba diver is familiar with the regulator. It has a front button on the front that allows you to purge any water inside the regulator. And I'll tell you what, I had it filled to only 2,600 PSI and I can max it out at 3,000 PSI. But even then, I got 8 minutes under the water and I could have gotten just a little bit more. Now, I found it extremely fun to play with this in the pool at the deep end. And here's what I'm talking about, how it's easy to check your gauge as opposed to the SMACO 0.5 liter tank that I reviewed before where you have to take it out of your mouth to just look at the gauge itself. Now, I wore a 2-pound weight belt and I probably could have done with 4 because I felt a little light in the water, but 2 was almost a sweet spot where it was easy for me to not worry about my buoyancy. I was pretty neutrally buoyant. Now, unless you get the shoulder strap tight, it feels like it's loose and hanging down. This I found to be not really a negative. It's more just something you have to be aware of as you're in the water. Now, as you're moving around, gear tends to loosen up, so keep it as snug as possible. Now, I would stay at a depth of under 25 feet, and to do that, I would recommend the Citizen ProMaster Diver, which I reviewed in a previous video, and you can hear it. That faint beeping in the water is the ascent alarm on my Citizen ProMaster Diver telling me that I'm going up too fast. So this allows me to surface safely without going up too fast, because even a depth of 12 feet, if you go up too fast while breathing under the water, it can still be pretty bad. Now, there's a couple pros and cons of this kit itself. One is going to be its quality control. Now, the only issue I had with the entire kit and setup was the fact that there was a small leak in the main hose that ran to the regulator at the point of the connection to the regulator. Now, one of the cool things that I like about this, since it has an external regulator, unlike the 0.5 liter SMACO that just hangs from your mouth, is that I had an issue with airflow going into my regulator. So I was able to turn the red knob on the top of the tank to turn off the air from the tank to the regulator to troubleshoot the problem. Now, I later replaced the O-ring in the hose. However, I feel like I shouldn't have had to do that since the entire setup was brand new. That's my only con. Now, the only thing that I've seen that's been negative for this tank, not only does it take 1,100 pumps to pump it up, but that seal on the regulator. Now, it did come with a pack of O-rings. I did replace the O-rings. It did seal it a little bit better. However, there is still a slight leak, and I'm going to try to fix that in the future. I think this would be awesome if I go fill it at a dive shop. However, with that pump, that's the whole reason why people buy these. They're not certified in diving. They buy these, they use the pump, they fill it up, they go offshore, and they use it as a scuba tank. However, it's always better to fill these through a scuba shop. Plus, you're not going to have to put in 1,100 to 1,200 pumps. It literally took me 6 hours because I couldn't do 1,100 to 1,200 pumps in a row. It was just too much. So I'd break it down and I'd do 30 pumps here, 60 pumps there, because it was just an exhausting feat of strength. Will I do that if I go to Hawaii and there's not a dive shop around? Absolutely. I'll take the pump with me just because I could fill it up again throughout the day before, take it and get a good solid 10 minutes underneath the water. To me, that is a huge pro. The only con that I see on this is going to be the same thing as the other one. One, it uses an aluminum tank, so you're going to have an issue with aluminum dust. Possibly, no matter what you say out there, I still don't want to breathe in aluminum dust. Another thing is the quality control. There shouldn't be an issue with the O-ring that comes with its stock. I shouldn't have to replace it. I shouldn't have to go through and spot check their quality. It's my life in my hands. That's why I went through and I fixed it to the best that I possibly could. Now, while I was in the pool during this time, I did do an updated review on both the Citizen Dive Master watch and its functionality under the water, and the Bebin X8 waterproof earbuds. That review or follow-up will be coming up in the future. Now, if you like videos like this, hit that subscribe button down below and leave a comment of the content you guys would like to see next. Until next time.